Hi, everybody. This is Kristin Armstrong, and I'm the Executive Director at the Saugatuck Center for the Arts, and welcome to another community conversation. Today, I'm really looking forward to checking in with Ric Gilette. He is one of the founders and owners of Saugatuck Brewing Company, right here in Saugatuck. Ric has been in the craft brewing industry for years, and Saugatuck Brewing is really a mainstay here in the community, so I'm very much looking forward to hearing from him about both Saugatuck Brewing and maybe a little bit more about our West Michigan craft brewing industry in general. So let's get Ric on the phone here. Hey, good morning, Ric. Thank you so much for being on the Zoom with us this morning. Yay.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Well, I'll tell you, let's start at the beginning. Why don't you remind us kind of what your role is at Saugatuck Brewing and even how long Saugatuck Brewing Company has been in the community?
Sure. I actually became involved before we opened. I was one of the very first investors in the company, and that was back in 2004. And we opened up in 2005, and I was strictly a shareholder. I had nothing to do with the operation of the company. In 2008, we moved from the warehouse across the street into the current building. And Kathy and I had just finished hiking the Appalachian Trail. And when I got back, I took a big interest in the operation of the company. And in 2009, I took over management of the company.
Wow. Okay, so we need to do a whole separate conversation on hiking the Appalachian Trail because that sounds so cool. But instead, I won't get down that rabbit hole. But Ric, what I wonder is in 2004, like nobody, like you and Larry Bell, nobody was talking about craft beer. What in the world put the idea into your head to start doing craft beer back then?
Well, actually, it was Barry Johnson. I don't know if you're familiar with Barry.
Yep.
He is on the the Saugatuck Village Council, our City Council, and he came up with this idea to start a brewery. And we were very good friends, and I thought it was a great idea, so I invested money. Actually, there was quite a few breweries were starting about that time. Shorts Brewery started the year before, I believe, or 2 years before. So there was kind of a movement towards the craft beer industry at that point.
Got it. A short history of craft brewing in Michigan. Cool. Well, we're so glad you guys decided to actually headquarter right here in Saugatuck too, and not, Grand Rapids has all kinds of amazing places now, but super glad you guys are here. So, well, I guess let's jump into the question that we were all curious about, even though I'm not sure any of us want to talk about it anymore, which is, so how are you guys at the brewery doing right now, given all of the upside down COVID world? Kind of what's it like over there right now?
Things are very difficult, which is probably obvious. With the mandatory shutdown of the dine-in restaurants, we, of course, closed. We did try to do, we were semi-successful, actually, with some takeout orders for the first couple of weeks. But we came to the conclusion that it would be safer for our employees not to have exposure to the virus and safer for our patrons. We just felt it was the right thing to do. So we stopped the takeout altogether. Other than that, the whole industry has been hit really hard. The distribution, it's a three-tier system, so we have to sell to a distributor. Distributor sells to the retailer. Retailers at this point have really taken a wait-and-see approach to this whole problem. Our orders are probably 50% of what they would normally be this time of year. I mean, this is the start of our really busy time of year, and it's really been very frustrating to see the drop in orders. Our production obviously has then slowed down. We have laid off our salespeople. They're 1 week on and 1 week off. We've cut back our brewing operations to 3 days a week instead of 5 days a week. So it's really impacted us a lot. It's frustrating, disappointing, all those things that you would normally think when something like this happens, but it's very, very difficult.
So the question I'm going to ask, which is going to seem maybe kind of foolish, is how can we help? Is there anything, those of us in the community, do we just need to buy lots of your beer so Meyer will stock more? What do we do, Ric?
Well, sure, that would be very helpful. I know we have, what do they call it now? Like Vista, I think. Anyway, it used to be Demons and Taft's. That's how I remember.
Oh, right,
Since I've been
yeah.
in the community 37 years. They're our number one seller, actually, of any store in the country.
Really?
Individual store. They sell a tremendous amount of our beer. But there's Dunes View and there's Lakeshore Convenience and there's probably some other places. And we're actually going to start promoting that, promoting where our beer is sold because you can't buy it here, just to help them out also. But yeah, there's not much you can do. I mean, you could buy gift certificates if you like, but that's kind of general for everybody. You can buy gift certificates.
Well,
just pump some.
That's good to know. Hey, I know this is sort of a random question, but okay, so let's say I'm going to have a party in August and I'm thinking, okay, I know this party is going to happen. Could I buy the beer right now? Like, will it save that long? I mean, is that a possibility?
Yes, it would. It's there's a 6-month shelf life. It usually lasts, some beers will last much longer than that. But yeah, there's a pretty sizable time frame for shelf life.
Okay, so we could all be planning summer parties and pre-buying now. Got that, everyone? Buy your beer now.
Buy lots of beer.
Drink lots of beer. Oh man, well shoot, that is, I was hoping you'd say no, the supply chains are still moving, like we're able to get things all over the place. So I'm sad and frustrated to hear that things have sort of started grinding to a halt. But thank you for sharing that with us. Well, I guess another question that I'll ask, I was going to ask you about a silver lining story. I don't know, you might feel like, oh, Kristin, I don't want to share a silver lining story. But, it is odd. We've all said, in spite of how much nonsense has happened, and as you said, the frustration and the aggravation, it does seem like people, events, things are happening that we all kind of sit back and smile and say, okay, there you go. So I'm betting that you've had some sort of a silver lining story happen to you during COVID.
Well, I'm not sure I would have one of those, but, really, I want to look for something positive out of this, and I don't see it right now, but I'm going to be optimistic and say, when this is over, we will either have learned something, we'll gain something, something positive will come out of it. Not sure what that will be, but we're learning a lot. As a company, as fellow employees, we're working all together. We're a family. Everybody understands what's going on. So I'd like to say we'll come out of this stronger than ever. I don't know that, but I hope that's the case.
Well, okay, I'm going to pivot and ask you an outdoor question. Since you actually have hiked the Appalachian Trail, and I'm sure there are more amazing things you've done, what is your favorite trail that you would say to people in this area? Like, okay, you have to go hike this particular area or trail. I'll bet you've got a good one for us.
In this particular, in Saugatuck area?
Yeah. Or maybe like in a 10-mile radius.
Well, the Crow's Nest, if you're familiar with the Oxbow Trail, in between Oxbow and the Channel, that is a tremendous trail. And the irony of it is Kathy and I just discovered it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
And it's been there forever, and we didn't know about it. And we've done it twice. It's just a beautiful trail.
So, okay, for those people who'd be like, Crow's Nest, I've heard that. Wait a minute. Where do we find it? Where would we park? Like, how would a person just go out and say, Rick told me to find the Crow's Nest Trail. Like, how do I get there?
Well, actually, I'm not sure I should tell everybody because I don't want it to get too busy. But it's I'm sure it's well known to local people. It's you can park at the Mount Baldhead and then walk up towards Oxbow, and then just as you get to Oxbow entrance, you take a right and it follows the channel.
Got it. And it sounds like there are probably, I'm guessing, gorgeous panoramic views. So
absolutely beautiful.
Nice. Well, okay, that's what we'll do then. That will be our breath for today. Is Rick and Kathy say go hike Crow's Nest and just try to let it go for a while. And I guess one more question I'll ask you before we leave. So if you were going to tell us to run out and buy some Saugatuck Brewing beer right now, what's your favorite flavor? Is that fair to say? What's your favorite type? Like what is it that Rick and Kathy always have on hand in case Kristin
The
drop by? What would you have for me?
my favorite is Bonfire Brown. That's always been my favorite. It's not an IPA. It's not hoppy. I'm not a real big IPA drinker. But all our beers are great. Of course, I'm going to say that. But my favorite is Bonfire Brown.
Nice. All right. Well, you heard it right there from Ric Gilette, folks. Run out and get yourself not one, not two, but 10 6-packs of Bonfire Brown. They will save for 6 months, so we can all buy now for our summer parties, which will be happening. And it's not just a summer party. We can sit and drink with our family on, well, not even weekends now, every day, right? So
That's correct.
Rick, thank you. I so appreciate you taking the time and chatting with us. And thanks for just keeping us up to date on what's happening with you guys. And we so appreciate having Saugatuck Brewing in the community. And I know all of us are really looking forward to getting back to the restaurant and just being a family again over at the brewery too.
Well, thank you very much. This has been nice talking to you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, Rick, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, it was great to talk with Ric Gilette and Crow's Nest. That's your great outdoor tip for the week if you've got some time to get outside in the community. Thanks so much for being here with us today, and stay tuned. Lots more community conversations coming up. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.